Hi pals, it's Mick. Welcome back to my drawing prompt series where my fingers still look like sausages, but this nail polish has held up surprisingly well and the points don't matter. I'm trying to keep these videos relatively short, so if you're interested in an explanation of this series and the rules that are involved, please have a look at the first video I did on this, which I will link up in the right hand corner of this video in a card and in the description down below. But for now, I'm just going to get right into it and have a look at the prompt and then get to sketching. Sorry if you can hear my fan in the background, it's pretty warm today, so I decided that you're just gonna have to deal with it because I don't want to sit here and boil while I film. Oh no, my pages are stuck together from the owls. Oh no. Don't look at the prompt. Shit. Oh, it's okay, it was today's, one of today's ones anyway. So we've got 4 today. We have an anchor, a skunk, a desk chair, and Van Gogh's ear, or Van Gogh's ear, depending on how you prefer to pronounce it. This is gonna be hard. When I thought about doing all the prompts on a page, I kind of forgot that there was the potential to have 4 to a page. How am I gonna... Oh dear. Alright, leave it with me. I had a lot of trouble with the sketching process. I felt like none of the prompts matched each other or went together in any way whatsoever, so I started off again by just drawing the actual prompt words, and then I tried to sort of combine them, but thinking about it just hurt my brain. I didn't know how I was going to make these work until I kind of decided that maybe I would create some sort of tattoo, maybe, because often people get anchors as tattoos, and then I was like, I don't know, a skunk tail? Do people get tattoos of skunk tails? And then finally I came up with the inspiration for what ended up being the picture, which is this last sketch here. Kind of thought maybe a goth girl with tattoos might be sort of obsessed with Van Gogh. Because he was an artist and because he was a little bit dark and because he chopped off his own ear, maybe she was trying to be like him by chopping off her own ear. But when I came to doing the final illustration, that felt like maybe a little bit too dark of a concept for YouTube, maybe a little bit too close to self, so I decided to go with a slightly more PG rated version of that, which was just this girl with cool hair, standing in her bedroom with all of this cool stuff around her. I think I kind of copped out on this one because I do think that the concept of her cutting off her own ear would have been more true to the prompts, but what I ended up doing was basically just putting a girl who was inspired by one of the prompts in a room with the prompts, and one of them's a tattoo, one of them's a necklace. You can see the desk chair in the frame housing a little skull, and Van Gogh's ear is in a vial, like a specimen jar behind her on a shelf, and she's also got a little snake specimen in a shelf there as well. So yeah, it's a little bit of a cop-out, but at the same time I was kind of happy with the idea and the inspiration that I had when going into this, and yeah, I guess I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't, you know, upsetting anybody or making anybody feel uncomfortable. That's the last thing that I want to do with my art, and this piece, I was happy with it, I was proud of it, but as usual there are some things I do want to work on. Her facial features, I think it's just her nose. I've always had trouble with noses, but especially when I'm trying to draw smaller faces, that tends to be an issue of mine. I do like how her outfit came out. It's kind of similar, I just realized, kind of similar in color scheme to the previous episode of this series where I drew a girl in a kind of overall dress and her undershirt was white with black stripes, and then the overall dress was yellow. And so I guess the colour scheme is similar, and that's one of the things that I wanted to sort of highlight here, is that I did like the colour scheme and how that turned out. I'm really pleased with how I've been using colours, especially since I'm relatively new to it as a person who typically used to stay really close to sketch art. And even in my digital pieces when I was doing digital art, I didn't really have a good grasp of colour theory. I would often paint my pieces in black and white and then use a multiply layer, which is just basically a layer that goes over the top, and you can add a colour value to your piece by doing that, which meant that I didn't have to think about it throughout the whole painting process, where when you're using watercolors, it's really important that you do that, I think. I don't really see a way that you could do a painting in black and white and then add color over the top with watercolor unless you were to do so digitally. So I'm kind of proud of myself for that, and I was thinking about contrast because in my last few paintings I have had some issues with contrast, and majority of this outfit was quite dark, so I wanted to make sure that there was a distinction between her skirt and her shirt. So I did that by altering the saturation of the black, and also in the way that I did the line art and the way that I used line art and highlight toward the end of the video. Again, with drawing a background, I only included the background because I knew that I wanted to include the prompts in the background, and I think that that's one of the really good things about this series, is that it's going to encourage me to draw backgrounds, because it's really hard to just draw prompts on their own or come up with a piece that's fully inspired by one prompt and just have, you know, one sort of central focus. I was really concerned about the background. Again, I really didn't include very much perspective, but I included some to kind of dip my foot in the water again and sort of just make it a little bit easier on myself than I did in the last prompt series video. I also struggled with the colour of the wall, but in the end I really like how it turned out. I'm using these paints that were gifted to me at Christmas by Sue, so Sue, if you're ever watching this, which I doubt it because Sue's not great with computers, but thank you so much, Sue, they're really great and I love them. I'm going to butcher the name of them, but I will link them in the description down below. They are the Gansai Tam by Kuretake watercolours, and they're from Art Supplies Australia, which is a website that I have bought from in a previous video, which I will link again up in the right hand corner in a card if you're interested in looking for them, and they'll be linked in the description down below as well. But anyway, the point of that little tangent is that this palette has some really great colours, and it was really helpful because although I did still mix my own skin tone because I really want to practice that and work on it, there were a range of different colours that I could choose from, and I didn't have to mix up my own cream colour, which I have had a lot of trouble in the past with. Not because the Regina's watercolours that I usually use are bad, in fact they're fantastic, great quality, and they mix really, really well. It's purely because I am inexperienced in the realm of mixing, and I just didn't really know how to get a cream colour out of watercolours. So for one to be included in this set and for me not to have to do much work in that department in an area where I'm already struggling because it's a background, and for some reason I just don't know what colour to make walls. That was a big thing in my last prompt series episode as well, but anyway, don't know why. So I ended up making it this creamy eggshell colour, and the reason that I went for that was because I wanted to sort of stay within the colour scheme, and I thought that the yellow was a good contrast to her hair. I'm also really sorry about some of the zoomed in parts of this video. I wanted to zoom in to show you the detail of what I was doing, specifically her skunk necklace. But that sort of really ended up messing with the quality, and I'm sorry about that, but I left it in there because I was really happy with the way that the contrast turned out, again because I was working with black on black, and the skunk is just so little and cute, and it's a baby, and it's just a sweet necklace, and now I kind of want to make that necklace somehow, even though I have absolutely no jewelry or necklace creating experience. As I mentioned before, I'm just going in with the line art here and some highlights on her skirt to sort of make it look like maybe it's leather or a shiny material. I remembered to put the peel pawn in this time, so please enjoy this nice crisp line. It's one of the best I've got. I don't know if I'm getting better at this because of practice or it just so happens that sometimes it comes out better than others, but this was a great peel. And there you have it, she's done. Yeah, I have some things to work on for next week, next prompt series. Definitely want to try and figure out how to do faces on a small scale, and maybe improve on my backgrounds again, because although this turned out fine, I think that it was also quite simple. This was my first use of the Kuretake Gansai Tam by watercolors, so if you're interested in a proper review, I did like them, but it was just a first impression, but if you're interested in a proper review, it's probably coming, but I would be interested to know if you're interested, so please leave me a comment. If you like the video, please hit the like button, and if you enjoy my videos in general, please subscribe and remember to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload. Thanks so much for watching, I will be back next week. Bye pals!